Hi everyone. This week is going to be a quick video on doing a bulk upload of audio into Anki using the program Audacity. This technique is useful for two scenarios. One, you gave a list of vocabulary words to your mentor and they read off that list for you, and you want to turn that list of 10, 20, 30, 40 words into flashcards quickly and efficiently. Or maybe you recorded your meeting with your mentor and you want to mine that recording for sentences that you can turn into flashcards. This would also be a quick and efficient way of doing that. And I just want to mention that I learned how to do this from the YouTuber Oliver Lovell, so I can't claim credit for all the skills here. So the first thing we're going to do is import a MP3 file into Audacity. So here I have a completely blank document. I'm just dragging it in, and here it is. And this is a really short one. You can see it's 7 seconds to keep this video short, but I'll play it for you now so you can sort of see what the file sounds like.
مزرعة ضيعة فيرما فلاح زراعة.
Okay, so as you can see, it's just a list of 5 words. The thing we're going to do now is start isolating the words themselves and giving them tags. So I'll show you how to do this. It doesn't matter so much in this really short list, but something to keep in mind is that a lot of people are used to pressing the space bar when they're playing an Audacity file. So I'll show you. But when you press the space bar, this little thing starts back from wherever you started playing. So the better thing to do is to press the P button, or the letter P, that is, which is, in this case, pause.
مزرعة.
So when you press P, it stops right there. Okay, just a quick tip. So here's the first word. I'm just going to highlight the word. You can test to see whether you successfully highlighted the audio you want by pressing the spacebar now.
مزرعة.
It'll just play the highlighted section. Okay, it's right. So I'm going to press Control B. This is on a PC. So it says label track. I don't actually have to give it any label. Same thing here. I'm going to highlight what looks to be the word, test it with the spacebar.
ضيعة.
It works. So I'll do Control Control B. Same thing here. Here's the word.
فيرما.
Sounds good. Control B.
فلاح زراعة.
Okay. Control B. Last one.
زراعة.
Control B. Okay. So now, using these labels, we can export this into multiple tracks. So what we're going to do is go to File, Export, Export Multiple. Okay. We're going to make sure it's going to the place we want. I'm just going to put it to my desktop to make things simpler. It's easier if you have a folder made, so let's make a folder. Anki Audio. Okay, select folder. Okay, and then we're using this format, which is numbering after file name prefix. So we're going to name it let's call it Anki Test Audio. Okay, press export. Success. And now we can see, we can open this up in our desktop, and it's created for us 5 files, each with the same prefix, but a new number. The next step here is that I'm going to open up a Google Sheet. And in this case, you can see I've already done some work on the Google Sheet. This is the one I always use when I upload audio to Anki. And what it has is each of the columns corresponds to the field that I have in my Anki cards. So my Anki notes have a ton of fields. Yours might have many fewer. And there's one additional field that I have in just for the sake of this process, which is the first one, which is a number. And this is to keep track of the different files. So I have 5 files, so I'm going to make sure that I have this numbered 1 through 5. Oops, did not work. Let's try that again. And then I'm going to auto-generate the same names as I used for my audio files. Okay, what does that mean? I've created a formula, which is concatenate. I type in the audio prefix that I'm using, so in this case, Anki test audio with a hyphen. And then it's going to copy the text from this column, the number, and then add in this .mp3 so that it all matches. So I'm going to drag this down. And so now I have the names for each of these audio files. And now I just have to put in some information about what each of these files mean. Okay, so I filled in the Arabic and English of each of these words that I've captured. This wasn't the best example because the first 3 words are all synonyms for farm, just like the standard Arabic way, the French way, and the more local way of saying it. These are all used in Tunis. And I actually have a special system for handling these sorts of synonyms, but I'm just going to pretend like they're totally different words. And then the word here for the verb to farm and the word for agriculture. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to actually import this into Anki. The first thing we need to do is we're going to take the words themselves and then drag them into our Anki media collection. I have mine bookmarked here because I'm always accessing it. So just drag it. Okay, and now those are in Anki. Okay, the first thing we have to do in order to import these into Anki is we're going to have to save this as a .csv file. But before we do that, I have this column with numbers in it, and I don't want to accidentally import that into Anki because it'll mess things up. So what I do is I usually copy the second half of the document, or everything after that first column. I copy it into a new document. I do a paste special values only. Now we've removed that first column, and then I'm going to file, download, comma separated values. Okay, so now that's in my downloads. Don't mind the fact that it's called Anki Omani. Now we're going to open up Anki. We're going to do File, Import. Select that file we just made. We want to make sure it's matching the type of card we want. So I'm going to make it Tunisian noun Arabic adverb. I'm going to put in the deck. We're just going to do temporary for now. Okay. Now you see field 1 singular, field 2 plural, field 3 singular audio. It all looks good. Okay, now we're going to go into our deck to make sure that works. Now, technically, I guess the smart thing to do would be to remove this top field before importing, because right now what it's done is it's imported, where is it here? It's imported one note, into that top row has turned it a note. So I'm just going to delete this one. Delete. So now we open this up. We can preview.
زراعة
So it's playing the audio. We click to see the other side. Agriculture. Same thing.
زراعة فلح فلح فيرما.
So I think that's a pretty slick way of adding in a lot of audio really quickly. And I'll post the link to the YouTube video that I sort of borrowed this idea from. And he shows how to use it for a different sort of application, which is mining conversations for sentences to practice. I hope this has been helpful.